So, I'm without voice, without breath, but happy to have you all here for the last panel, together with Holger, a good friend from Munich, who is from Metabrew Society. So later you can enjoy the beer, a lot of beer during our after party and also tomorrow. And as you can see, I switched a bit the clothes. I told you all we do a Christmas raffle, let's say Nikolaus raffle, and yeah, I thought it's a good idea to get this from the ground floor. And you can see here we have a lot of things from Artifact, Board App, Yacht Club, a lot of brands afterwards, and it's the last chance for you to put your name on Sonja's list, because you get a little ticket if you have not done it. You have to write your name on it, and only people which are here in this audience can win, because you have later after this talk to grab something out of this room, and that's also. So if friends are outside, they should definitely join our panel with Holger, and in 20 minutes it's closing, so just inform your friends to come in, and last chance. So Holger, let's start our panel. Great to have you here. Thank you for the support and the sponsoring of the beer.
Thanks for having me.
I would say that my breeze comes back, just start with some introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Holger. I'm one of the founders of Metabrew Society. In Metabrew Society, we're the first Web3 beer brand, and we're the first Web3 beer brewery. And brewery means real brewery. So we own a brewery in northern Bavaria, just a little north of Bayreuth. And we acquired this brewery in August this year. We had and Metabrew Society is not only a brewery, but it's also an NFT project. We had our mint starting in September 22nd, so 22/9/22 is a date that you can easily remember. And we combined with the NFT project, we combined NFTs and the brewery, and yeah, we have some interesting utility also, which is basically it's beer. So if you hold an NFT of Metabrew Society, what you get is 240 cans of beer for free per year, shipped home to your place. 240 cans for free, shipped home to your place. We guarantee that for 3 years, and we continue after those 3 years based on profit. So if we're profitable, and we're reinvesting that profit first and foremost into the utility for the holders. So if we make money, you'll have free beer for life. And not just a little bit, 240 cans, which is approximately 80 liters, which is the average that a European adult person drinks of beer per year. So we cover it all. That's Metabrew Society in a nutshell. And yeah, that's us.
And Holger and me already discussed that we have also a special offer for you, which is very special, because it's normally not longer possible. And I hope the Technik can open an internet browser and show Metabrew Society, because this talk is about Metabrew Society and not Dennis Weidner. And we can also show how you have the opportunity until tomorrow evening to mint for 1 ETH, exactly what Holger described, like this live flat rate of beer every quarter you can claim, and 200.
No, per quarter it's 60, but in total it's 240 per year. Yeah, and we're shipping the first. So we cut it into 4 pieces. The annual allowance into 4 quarterly allowances. So every quarter we ship you 60 cans of beer, and we're currently shipping the first quarterly allowance. Yeah, so we've produced it in the last couple of weeks. We've packed it during the last weekend with 8 people in the warehouse. We've packed 60,000 cans of beer. And we're going to and we're going to ship it. We're going to ship it late this early next week. We're going to ship 60,000 cans of beer, and we sold 1,000 NFTs in the bear market. So I think from what I know, we're the biggest German project. We're probably the biggest European project, with about $1 million raised during the mint. The mint is still open, so we sold 1,020 NFTs till now. The mint is still going on. The floor price on OpenSea is still above the mint price. They're less than 1% listed, so it's all good. We're continuing with the mint, so you can still, on metabrewsociety.com, if you go kind of to the menu and to the mint, you can still mint a Metabrew Society NFT. And we just agreed before that until the end of this conference, so until the end of tomorrow, if you buy your NFT today or tomorrow, you can still claim your first quarterly allowance. Actually, the window is closed, but for this conference, we open it again. So if you mint your NFT, you can still claim your first quarterly allowance, and you will get 60 cans of beer before Christmas. And it's craft beer. It's high quality. I mean, you can convince yourself. This is a Märzen. It's a fest beer. We have it on tap over there in the main room. It's unfiltered, so we have to drink it today or tomorrow. Just give it a try. I'm sure you like it. We have more sorts of beer than that, but this is something that I think you're not making a mistake on drinking.
Absolutely, and if the technique maybe can metabrewsociety.com show here something from Metabrew would be exciting. But let's deep also into challenges, into the market 2022, and also how you structured it, because we had a lot of talk about compliance, taxation, and we are here in Germany, and as you said, you did it in Germany with a German setup, and also with the approach to deliver a good product, as an we call it not airdrop. I give it to you if the better English words. So it's very interesting how Holger and the team structured that project. If you can give some insights.
Absolutely. I mean, the initial question for us was, is this compliance? Is this compliant just to raise that amount of money? And our original idea was to actually give out shares in the company, in the brewery, and then talking to some attorneys brought us to the conclusion very fast that this is not compliant. It's not possible. Yeah. So if you give out shares, if you raise the expectation of a financial return, then it's not compliant. It's financial security. In Germany, you have to involve the BaFin, Bundesfinanzdienstleistungsaufsicht. In the United States, you're under SEC regulation. You need to have a license for trading financial securities, etc. So it makes the whole thing very complicated, very costly, and very cumbersome. So we actually said we need to find a different approach to that. So the idea then was born to say, instead of promising shares and money, just give the people beer. And just not give it just some beer, just give them a lot of beer. And and we started really looking kind of what's the average annual consumption of the average adult European, and it was always between 70 and 80 liters. So we said, I mean, that we should cover, so that people who invest in Metabrew Society, they're off the beer market. They're drinking the beer from Metabrew Society. And that's how we structured it. And we added some kind of, we're doing 2 events. We're doing 1 event actually at the brewery, big event at the brewery. It's we call it September Fest. Again, Germany, we're not allowed to call it Oktoberfest because that's a trademark by the city of Munich. Yeah, so we said, okay, then we call it Septemberfest. And then someone brought another E in, so now we call it September Fest. We have a second festival in the spring in Las Vegas. We have an affiliate program where the NFT holders, they can make 20% cashback or kickback cash if they refer customers to us. Yeah, so if you bring a customer to us, 20% of the revenue we make with that customer you brought, you receive as kickback, lifelong. It's your customer. Yeah, so which makes the involvement of the community attractive for the community, but it's also attractive for the company because it helps us to spread the brand. It helps us to sell the beer, and currently we have 650 NFT holders owning 1,020 NFTs. So we have 650 brand ambassadors and salespeople out there, potential salespeople out there that can spread the brand, and that actually have a double benefit from doing so, because they get the 20% kickback, plus if after the 3 years where we guarantee the utility, if we're profitable by then and they can contribute to that, they get beer for free for life. Yeah, so there's actually a double incentive to help us sell our beer, and so that's how it's constructed. And with the beer that we're offering, and the fact that you actually have to claim the beer. Yeah, so we're airdropping 4 times a year. We're airdropping into the wallets of the NFT holders. We're airdropping an allowance NFT. Yeah, so you're getting 4 times a year, you're getting another NFT from us, and this NFT you can use to pay for your quarterly allowance. So you go to our website, you go into our shop, you claim the beer, the 60 cans per quarter, and you burn that token. Yeah, so with that, actually there's a mechanism in that it's kind of in German law, and we're not making use of that, but we've had discussions with tax accountants and tax advisors. Under German law, this is a undefinierter Gutschein, Warengutschein, yeah, so it's something that it's not 100% defined, which has the advantage that we wouldn't have to charge VAT when selling the NFT. And this is a big topic, because in Germany, the financial authorities, they assume, yeah, NFT is art. That's how they categorize it. Yeah, so they've learned kind of NFT is art. So if you sell an NFT as a German project, you actually have to charge 19%, or not even charge. You have to give the financial authorities 19% of your revenues, because their assumption is that that there's VAT involved, 90% in Germany, and if you don't know your customer exactly, their assumption is every one of your customers is from Germany. So they need to apply the 90% of VAT to each and every one of your customers. So every NFT you sell, they deduct 19%, and that's their invoice basically. So we said, no, we're not going down that road. We actually structured it going through an American entity, because there's no such thing in the United States. So the mint was actually done by an American entity, and we bought back the NFTs and guaranteeing the allowance. So the VAT is out. But even though we're pretty certain that even if we would have done it under the German VAT regime, because it's an undefined Gutschein, yeah, there would be no VAT involved. Because deducting like 19% of $1,000 or €1,000 NFT makes quite a difference. Yeah, and once you gave them the money, you're not seeing it again. Yeah, so make sure that you keep it, and you find ways around that. That was one of our learnings on structuring it. And so we basically went around all these regulations. So we're giving out beer, so it's not a financial security, because you're not doing it for a financial investment or financial return. You're doing it for the beer. But because you have to claim the beer, it's not defined, because you could still basically say, I'm not taking one or two of the claims. We still don't know whether you're taking the claims. Yeah, so it's not a defined Gutschein. So in that case, it's undefined, so there would be no VAT. But we still went around it through the American entity. But there's a lot of stuff that when you look into kind of German regulation particularly, it's insane. But yeah, I think we found our ways around it.
It's very fascinating, because when Holger and me met the first time, it was really like 1 hour talk, and he took the time to explain all of this also in German, and I was fascinated, and I said, come on, we should also do it to the audience to motivate people to think about the product, how you can make it, is it the right place, and because you just want to fulfill your dream, you just want to fulfill your vision, and sometimes you have to be creative, not because you want, but you have to, not to have any problems when the regulation is not clear in your home country. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's such a lot of regulation in place that this space is relatively unregulated. But what you don't want to do, you don't want to do something and then run into some regulation that comes in later. Yeah, so that's the reason why we structured it as we did. Yeah, so that we're not in conflict of any also potential regulation that's coming in that place. So we try to define it in a way that the authorities can work with it. Yeah. But still, kind of now we own a brewery, and that was also something that the original idea was: we first do the mint, then we buy the brewery. How we actually did is we first bought the brewery, so we raised some private capital. We first bought the brewery and then did the mint. And the simple reason was, I mean, we were in the bear market. Yeah, so when we started the project in April, the ETH was still at like $3,500 or euros, and by the time we decided that it's about time to mint, it was at around 1,000. So completely different market. And when we asked the community, and we had built a community of about, we had something like 17,000 followers on Twitter, we had 6,500, 7,000 people on Discord. And when we asked the community kind of about how they feel, and the answer was basically, if we want to buy the brewery, there's a certain threshold needed that needs to mint so that the whole thing works. So everyone was sitting there and waiting and hesitating to put in the investment because they were waiting for the threshold to fall. And if something like that happens psychologically, the threshold's never going to fall because everyone's sitting there and waiting. So we said we have to turn the whole structure around. We have to start actually buying the brewery so that everyone who mints has the guarantee that for the money they put in, they get their beer. And that's how we did it. And I think that gave a big boost to the community, and that gave a lot of credibility that we're here to stay for the long term and that we're here to deliver. And I think that's one of the reasons why we minted more than $1 million and why we're now shipping beer.
And you also said that if you own 10 NFTs, there's something special, right?
Absolutely. So if you own 10 NFTs, I mean, you get 10 times the allowance, but you can choose the label that you have on the beer, so that you can actually brand the beer to your logo. Could be your PFP, but it could be your logo. We have agencies participate there with other NFT projects participate there. We call it the Gold Program. It's a kind of golden NFT. So you can co-brand the label for your brand. And we even have actually people in the hospitality industry, owning restaurants, owning bars, etc., that have bought 10 or more NFTs to be able to brand the beer for their business. And that is something that we think it's this is something where we as a kind of Web3 native brand and as a brand that starts from fresh, we were able to set our processes in a way that we can customize very fast and very easily. Yeah, if you go to a normal brewery and you say, kind of, I want custom beer, I mean, either you get pretty bad beer, or if you go to a decent brewery with some decent beer, they ask you to at least take something like 50,000 cans or something like that. Yeah, so it's a big investment. We're doing that if you own 10 NFTs, your annual allowance is 2,400 cans, and you get the beer branded. Yeah, so we're doing that for relatively small batches, and the reason we set up the whole process in a way that we can afford it, that we can do it. So we own our own label printer, we own our own labeling machine, and we have a designer in the team, Chantal, a creative artist in the team, and we create a label. If you own 10 or more NFTs, we create labels with you together. We print the labels with the printer in the brewery. We put it on the cans, and you get your branded beer.
And I mean, it's pretty interesting if you compare to the normal way to go to a brewery or also in other businesses. Yeah, a lot of entrepreneurs in the audience which know about Warenabfüller in Deutsch. It's late, no idea what's Warenabfüller in English. But if you want to make own products which are not from somewhere else, just to get it out, and it's an amazing opportunity. We also discussed before, you have even some NFT holders from Ecuador, and they are also now waiting for the shipment, right?
Absolutely. So we're actually shipping our allowance into 40 countries, 40 countries, and so the majority, luckily, is in Germany. So it's quite good for the shipping costs, obviously. Majority is in Germany, but it's just above 50%. Then there's a big community in Austria, there's a community in Switzerland, there's a community in a lot of other European countries. There's a big community in the United States, there's a big community in Canada, and there's a big community in Australia. And then we have countries like New Zealand, South Africa, Namibia, Nigeria, Ecuador, Mexico, etc. So we have countries where we only have a single NFT holder, but the one in Ecuador, he owns 6 NFTs. So it's really worth looking into the import restrictions. And Ecuador is a tough one. We're going to solve it, but Ecuador is not easy.
Just want to share because it's pretty interesting to overcome challenges. And in this NFT and crypto space, 2022 was overcoming the whole months' challenges. What would you say was the biggest for Metabrew Society? Because as you said, you started on a level where prices were very high, a big active community, and then you also felt a bit of this this movement, or that it's harder and harder and harder, even if the product is so amazing as you described, completely serious structured, and with a real utility you get gifted quarter by quarter.
Yeah, I mean, when we started and we did the business case and we said we need about €1,000 or $1,000 per NFT. Yeah, so we always communicated the mint price in dollar equivalent, and because we have a real life business, we need to do our calculations in fiat currency. That's the reason why we actually communicated always a mint price in fiat currency. So when we started, the assumption was of the mint price in ETH was something like 0.35. When we actually minted, the mint price was something like 0.8, which is quite a difference, yeah, for the people for the investment that the people have to put out. We were still quite confident that we can raise enough that the project makes sense, and our expectation was that we should be able to mint about 1,000 NFTs, and within that first window, the first 72 hours, we had like 850. Yeah, so we saw we're actually pretty close to that goal that we had set internally. So we thought, I mean, this is going to be a success. But the most challenging thing actually was originally in the beginning to build the community, and we have wasted a lot of money doing so, because in the end, what we found out. Actually building the community, the only thing that really works is getting in front of eyeballs that are involved in other projects and other meaningful projects already. So collaborations with other projects was the only thing that really worked for us. We had an article in the Handelsblatt, which was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I had like the 3 days. It was a full page article in the Handelsblatt. The 3 days after, within 3 days, I had like 500 new LinkedIn connections. But in terms of community, it didn't make a difference. Nothing, zero. Yeah, it was just not the target group. In terms of paying influencers for getting reach, that's what we originally thought. You have to take a little bit of money into your hand to pay influencers, get some reach, buy some eyeballs in a way. It didn't work. The people saw the posts of the influencers and the giveaways, etc. But the people then actually also went away again because they were not really interested in the project. And the only people that were really interested in the project, of those 650 people that minted, we can about 580, 600, we can track back to collaborations we made with a handful of other projects. Yeah. So basically building that community kind of with all that kind of influencers that we paid to spread the word, with PR agencies, with everything we did, was completely useless. The only thing, and the interesting thing, it doesn't cost money to do collaborations with other projects. It doesn't cost money. The only thing that helped sustainably grow the community in the end was collaborations with other projects. And I think that's probably the biggest advice to others who try to build a project. It doesn't cost money to build a community. I mean, it costs a lot of time and a lot of sweat, but in the end, because you have to do conversations with the people, you have to keep them engaged. But in the end, getting in front of the right people, the only thing that worked for us was doing collaborations with other projects. Full stop. The only thing that worked.
It's a good insight also for some project leaders here, or future project leaders. And is this also then the plan to do more offline events and invite the people? So anything planned on this angle to support the ambassadors? Let's call them ambassadors, like brand ambassadors.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, our strategy going forward is twofold. I mean, first we want to position ourselves as the Web3 beer brand, and events like the one today, which, congratulations, is an awesome event. The one like we're here today is for us, it's the perfect spot to be, yeah, because here NFT people are interested in Web3, Metaverse, in the space. That is something that we want to do also in the future, sponsor to be present at these events. We want to be the brand for Web3, the Metaverse, the crypto space, the beer brand. So we're going to continue to do that, to be in front of people of the right audience. In parallel, we have to position ourselves also as a beer brand, independent of that space. So we have to find our own target groups. We've with the beers that we've defined, and the community, obviously, who are our brand ambassadors, they're a big factor in our planning, because the community, they're involved in Web3. Lots of them are involved in gaming, but they're also people in real life. They have real life friends. They drink real beer. Yeah, so they can spread the word of a real life brand also in their real life. And that's how we approach it. So we want to be the Web3 beer brand, but we also want to make beer that is awesome to drink in real life. And we have a number of approaches. So the first is we want to interpret traditional beers with the craft beer approach, a Helles, a Märzen, Pilsner, etc., with the craft beer approach. So kind of hand-selected ingredients, bringing up the quality of the product. We're doing. We've established a new type of beer, BPA, the Bavarian Pale Ale. So it's the Bavarian interpretation of the kind of New World beers, of the IPAs. And our approach to the IPA is we want an IPA that's drinkable. We don't want IPA that's only interesting because of the hops notes. We want an IPA that is drinkable, and that people enjoy to drink. Yeah, that they not enjoy to discuss, but they enjoy to drink. And that's our approach. So the Bavarian interpretation of the IPA, the BPA, but we also have a gamer's brew, which is a BPA with half alcohol, so it doesn't make you drunk immediately, and it has ginseng, ginger, guarana in it, so kind of an energy boost. That was an idea that came out of our community. Yeah? So we want to kind of cater to certain specific target groups. Then we're making in the next quarter, and the community also chose that we're making a sleep brew. So many people kind of drink a beer before they go to bed. Why not put melatonin and stuff that makes you really sleep into the beer? That's what we're going to do. Yeah, so we're bringing a sleep brew. That's the last drink in the evening, and it really makes you sleep, not because you're drunk, but because it has the ingredients that make you sleep. And so these are basically the ideas that we want to. Yeah, we want to be the Web3 beer brand, but we also want to give our brand ambassadors enough talking points and enough innovation to talk about Metabrew Society as a beer brand in real life.
That's so exciting, because you can feel here in the audience, Holger's a really entrepreneur and in the business for a long time and doing a lot of things. And I personally like everything what's happening inside of Metabrew, because you see the different approaches already thinking forward and change and disrupt something. And of course, a sleep beer, it's just a cool world, but everyone understands. And I really hope also that it's not a financial advice. A lot of people are going to Metabrew Society and thinking about this 1 ETH to get this allowance, NFTs dropped, to get then ship this great beer. And also this evening and tomorrow we have you ship 2,000 liters of beer, so we have a lot to drink. And I hope really that you enjoy the beer. And if you have any questions now, and already, so who already tried the beer? Some? So after that, after our Nikolaus action, it will be time, because then we also will make the music on. It will go until 12 o'clock, I think, and a lot of beer to drink. Also some long drinks available, and that you enjoy it. But let's close this round with some questions of the audience. Maybe you take the chance to ask Holger. If you have something, just raise your hands, and we could bring your question in. Is it possible from the technique one microphone maybe to the questionnaires? That would help a lot. Just we come around. Just raise your hands, and then we come around. So we have two, but I'm sure we have then afterwards also another one. Okay, let's start.
Yes, thank you very much. Holger, you say collaboration. What means exactly collaboration?
Yeah, so it's the collaborations in that meaning that we did with other project was that it was basically a mutual presentation of the project, of their project in our Discord, of our project in their Discord. And then when it came close to the mint, they were the collaboration projects, they were again presenting Metabrew Society in their community. We gave them whitelist spots and they promoted the project within their community. It worked better the more conversation there was about the project before. So for example, those collaboration projects where we did joint AMAs, so where we did Twitter spaces, for example, before, where we invited both communities to present actually both projects. And when we did that, and there was quite some engagement, and sometimes it's funny. So we did, for example, with one project, we did an AMA, and it was really a downer. So when I entered the AMA, there was like 5-6 people in the AMA. So I thought, oh, this is another hour, talking to 5 people. Is this really worth it? And the next morning I woke up and the recording of that space was listened to by about 700 people. So it's you never know, yeah. So you might do a space with 5 people, and in the end you reach 700, and this is what we really saw working. Yeah, engaging with other communities, finding some common ground, finding something that you both like to talk about, then doing a joint AMA. Being present in their Discord, answering questions, presenting the project, etc., inviting them over to. So in a way, trying to mix the audiences of the project and involve each other in each other's projects. That's the meaning of collaboration there. Gerne.
Okay, thank you.
Holger.
Obviously, you mentioned you have a lot of community members from the US.
Yeah.
And you said there's Vegas coming in the next month, probably. Do you have some sneak peek, maybe, about what is happening in Vegas? Is it more bringing the Bavarian style to the US, or do you adapt to any events happening there? So I have to plan my schedule for next year.
So in Las Vegas, we're going to announce it relatively soon in the Discord. We actually booked a relatively big location, which is a bar that is relatively close to the strip, and it's a bar that can still host a couple hundred people, but it's a managed place. It's in Weissenstadt. When we did our September Fest, we had a beer tent, and we were actually the ones who managed the place over there. We're going into a bar, but we rent the whole place. And the idea basically is that in Weissenstadt we did it over 3 days, but our experience was that the last day, the Sunday, there were very few people there. And so it was mainly Friday and Saturday. So we took the learning from that, and in Las Vegas we're going to do a Friday and a Saturday where we're having the fest. And the fest is actually consisting of free beer, as much as you can drink. And that was the motto also of the September Fest. And we discussed whether we're going to have Bavarian food over there, but then the menu of the bar actually is, I mean, it's local food, but it looks pretty good. So in the end, we decided that we rather take the local food, but we bring the German beer. And in terms of schedule, also the idea was that that we start early. So we start early afternoon, and we have like 6 hours then until everyone had some couple beers, and then we let you into Las Vegas nightlife. That's the idea.
And it's cool also to have some holders here from that community, and so follow the Discord also to get that official announcement. Then if you getting a holder. Any last questions? We have 3. It's always good. 1, 2, 3.
Maybe one more comment. Just one more comment on this. So our experience on the September Fest was that the best experience was really kind of to have the people around, to have the community there, meet them in person. So I think if we have something in the afternoon, like 6 fest hours or something like that, and then we together go into Las Vegas nightlife, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
That sounds like.
Great,
Steffen, Rudi?
Yeah, I have
The
a
Crypto
question.
Ticker team is also here. Amazing.
Yeah, Rudy from Crypto Ticker. Two quick questions. The first question is, are you ready to ship beer to the Middle East?
It's a tough one. So we have shipped beer to Dubai.
Yeah.
That worked. We have not been able to ship beer to Saudi Arabia. And we would have to check really country by country.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Libanon.
The second
The
question
second
is
question is basically just what's the difference between choosing Metabrew, choosing the approach of going with the traditional marketing approach, so going and placing the cans in the shops versus doing the current marketing technique, which is going with the Web3 approach.
Yeah.
Maybe the other one is more maybe lucrative. Which one is better? How did you think about this?
We're probably gonna mix elements of all channels into our marketing mix going forward. But I think it's incredibly difficult as a new beer brand to enter the market currently and to be in the traditional retail space. You're the 32nd beer brand in the shelf. So you have to invest a lot of money into communication, into marketing, advertising, etc., to be really known. So the starting point to be able to actually start from a certain target group or from in a certain area that you can dominate, and in the Web3 space we're relatively known, I would say, and we're getting a lot of inquiries basically every week to be present in conferences, trade shows, etc. in the Web3 space. So to be the leading player with a business that is just starting in a certain space certainly has an advantage, and then to hopefully grow with that space. Also, the nice thing about Web3, and everyone's speaking about brand community, we as a Web3 native company, we do have our brand community, and we do have people that bought into it from the very beginning and that want to grow with us and that want to be with us, hopefully for all times in the future. If you're thinking in terms of product market fit, in terms of market research, in terms of kind of taking decisions, marketing decisions, product decisions, etc., the Web3 approach and the community, whenever we have an idea and we want to test it with the community, we throw it out, we make a vote or something like that, we're getting like 450 replies within a couple hours. So it's highly dynamic. It's an extreme wealth of information that is there. And it's not only the vote, it's also the comments, the discussions that the community members have about a certain topic once we raised it, where we can draw a lot of information from on how to position the beer and how to move the brand forward. And I think that is a very, very important element in our eyes to basically being the innovation beer brand in the market. So kind of using that advantages of being a Web3 native brand and trying to translate it into the real life. And we have these brand ambassadors that help us spread the word. We're choosing target group by target group. So I still don't want to be in the supermarket, the 32nd brand. Yeah, I mean, it's much easier to target gamers with the gamers brew. Yeah, it's much easier to target. My idea is actually to target hotels with the sleep brew. Because if a can of sleep brew is standing in every hotel room, we're getting a lot of free eyeballs we're getting in front of. And it could also be attractive for hotels to put it there. It's additional revenue. It's something new. It's a impulsive buy in a way. Yeah. So that's the approach we want to take. We want to be in channels where no other or almost no other beer brands currently are. That's the approach we're taking. And this is kind of also being budget conscious. We can't put 100 million into a global marketing campaign like Heineken or sponsor the FIFA World Cup and then kind of throw the beer away like the other brand.
It was an amazing closing words also to explain also the vision and why you do it. And a very, very big applause for you, Holger, that you took the time. And because
My pleasure. Thank
you
you.
had today also a lot of to figure out, you told me, to come from Munich. And for you also, some last words. Holger is also as entrepreneur and investor looking into different companies. And tomorrow morning we have also an amazing panel with amazing speakers, and you should not miss, because today also some people showed very late up, and it's okay, it's Berlin, you know, traffic jam and all this stuff. And one of the highlights tomorrow is from Vanessa, it's Female Pleasure Society. It's a very deep talk about also failures in the market and what to change, and talk about not only the success, which is you know, when you talk about crypto, and Holger's also a supporter of this project. And you say also some moments here with us, or to have some beer in the evening. Oh,
Yeah,
so-
absolutely. Yeah,
so
I'm here for the rest of the day.
cool. So if you have any questions and any projects to discuss, Holger's a very open, transparent guy, and I think we will have a lot of fun. For this evening, we will start now our after party in the room here in that floor on the left, and we will make some music until late. Beer, long drinks, and all things are available. And we're also opening the floor up to you with some installation, lights installation, NFT, art gallery. We decided today to let it close, to have the people here in the room, to have the energy and synergy to network, because you know, if you have 2 floors in the beer market, could be challenging. But tomorrow it's also open to see, and I hope you enjoy also the other floor, just that you understand it. And tomorrow we have again entrance from 9, starting at 10 o'clock with the first panels and talks. And look at the schedule on our screens, look at the schedule on our homepage. Tomorrow's also very, very interesting. Yeah, in the evening we do some closing. And thank you very much for the first day. I hope you enjoyed it here in Berlinverse in Berlin. And let's have now some fun together with this Nikolaus action. So I think we need like 10 minutes. We make some music, and Sonja and me will draw now some numbers and some names. And I brought a lot of merch from Miami, New York, London, all over the year. And I thought it's a good idea to distribute it to the scene, and it's from Artifact, Bored Ape Yacht Club, everything's in MoonPay, MetaMask. I don't even know what's in. So some LED lightning stuff. You see our beer then here when you make a power bank. So very high stuff. And yeah, let's start. Sonja, make some music. Just sit here and or grab some beer. Come back. You know, you can also go now. Grab some beer. Come back. And if you're here and your number is drawn, just come here and you can type one thing out of my Nikolaus baggage here on Berlinverse. Thanks a lot.